Welcome back, everyone, to your next stimulus update. I'm sure by now you know that the House has fully completed its bill. All the committees have edited their portions, and it's been passed. It's written, ready to go. There might be some minor changes. I mean, like editing stuff, spelling errors, those sorts of things. But it's going to be introduced this week into the House. So I want to update you on when you could expect this entire process to be done. And I'm going to give you the most likely dates that the stimulus checks are going to be sent out. So first, let's go ahead and start off with the month of February, and then we'll get into March. On February 22nd, you can see I have the House written there and then a little arrow going through the 23rd and 24th. I believe this is when they're going to officially introduce the bill onto the House floor. Not as if all the representatives don't already have the bill. They do, and they've already seen it. But this will be the official releasing of the bill. They're going to meander over it, talk through it, whatever, have some discussions. And by the 25th or 26th, they're likely going to vote on it. I have the green circle around the 26th because that is when it's most likely going to be voted on, and when it is voted on in the House, it's going to be passed. And this brings us to the month of March, which is slightly more difficult. And you can see here on the calendar, I have the Senate for Monday, March 1st. I believe this is when they're finally going to get the bill into their hands after it passes through the House. And you can see I have that arrow going all the way through the 5th. The entire first week, I believe they're going to use it for discussion and changes. That's right. They are going to change the House's bill because we already know that Kirsten Sinema from Arizona and Joe Manchin from West Virginia do not like all of the provisions in the House's bill. And you need all 50 Democrats to vote for this thing in the Senate if it's going to pass. And if you have one or two Democrats who are not on board, it's no good. So they're going to change the bill around in the first week to make sure that Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin and every other Democrat are all on board. So things like the $15 minimum wage are probably going to be eliminated and a few other things here and there. And in my opinion, I don't think it should take more than a week to do this. That's why on Friday the 5th, I have a vote there because I believe it's possible that the Senate can get the discussion and changes done in the very first week. However, they are politicians. It could also take them the second week, and that's why I brought the red arrow into the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But I believe the first vote is possible on the 5th. Now, keep this in mind. If the Senate changes the House's bill, little provisions here and there, they have to then send it back to the House, and the House has to vote and pass the identical bill of the Senate. They both must vote and pass the same bill. You can't just make slight changes here and there and just be like, well, it was pretty close and we voted on pretty much the same thing. No, it's got to be the exact same thing. But the good part about this is whatever changes the Senate makes, whatever they pass, the House is going to pass it immediately after that. There's not going to be like any discussions like, I can't believe you got rid of that. Now we're not going to pass it. That will not happen. So when the House and Senate finally both pass the identical bill, it's going to go up to Joe Biden. He's going to sign it immediately, maybe the day of or the day after, and stimulus checks are going to go out shortly after that. So you can see here on the calendar, I have the first batch of stimulus checks possibly going out, and this is with the best data we have right now. And I'm not sitting here in my office with the calendar on the wall throwing darts at it, and then the first dart hit the 15th. I'm like, okay, that's the day we're going to pick. No, this is really good educated information based off of data, based off the politicians and the timeline that we already know is going to occur in the future. So the first batch of checks that are going to be sent out, remember, $1,400 checks going to all qualifying Americans and all qualifying children, including Social Security, SSI, SSDI, veterans, RRB, survivors, and adult dependents, is likely to start on Monday, March 15th, and all throughout that week, Monday, March 22nd, you might have more batches, the 29th, even more. It does depend on how quick the Senate takes to make the changes and for Joe Biden to sign it. If he can sign it on the 6th, the 5th or the 6th, then you definitely are going to have them by the 15th. If it takes the next week, the 12th or the 13th, then you might not start getting them on the 15th. You might start getting them on the week of the 22nd. So in expectation of these $1,400 checks and of course budgeting out in the future for them to arrive, know that they're probably going to start shuffling them out from mid-March to the end of March. Last time we saw the $600 checks go out, some people got them in the first week, some in the second, some in the third, some in the fourth. I do not know when the government's going to send you your specific check. I wish I could tell you it would be in the first or the second week. I know it wasn't for me. It took them, I think, over a month to get it to me, probably 5 weeks or so. So these checks are going to be continuing to go out into the month of April as well. So just because you see the checks going out in the weeks of the 15th to 22nd and 29th, don't say, Vin said they're going to definitely be going out. No, the first batches are likely to go out then. But if the government runs slow, then some people are going to get them in April and throughout the month of April and even in May. And then, of course, they might, some people might be required to file even though they shouldn't have to file. That's what we're going to keep you up to date here with. And we've been able to help a lot of people out with that because a lot of people haven't gotten some of their checks and they're not sure what to do. So if something like that happens again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We will let you know. And then, of course, as we get closer to this, we'll really be able to pinpoint the dates. Right now, we're giving you sort of ranges of when this stuff is going to happen. Those ranges are going to become pinpoints, and we're going to know the exact dates in the future. Also, remember, if you're on unemployment or you know somebody who is on unemployment, they're going to continue that as well. The boost is going to go up to $400 per week, and it's going to go all the way through the month of August, which is a good thing. If you have children as well, they're introducing the buffed up child tax increase. So right now it's $2,000 per child. It is going to go to $3,600 for those 6 and under. It is going to go to $3,000 for those 17 and under. And that's going to be set up to start in the summer months into the next tax season. And there's things you want to be kept up to date with that as well, because it looks like the government's going to be opening up some portals, probably on IRS, if you do have kids, to put some information down on receiving that money, because they do want to give it out as a month-to-month payment rather than a final year sort of tax benefit that you get at the end of the year. You might be able to change up your options on that. I think for me and everyone's themselves, and some people need that money month to month now, but a lot of people look forward to the tax season to get that lump sum payment. So if you're one of those people and there's an option to keep all that money to the tax season, and you need that payout for tax season, then you're going to want to make sure you do that. If you know what, I need the month-to-month payment right now and I'll be able to budget accordingly, then of course you're going to want to do that as well. Hopefully the government gives everyone the option to choose how they want to do it. But if you have kids, you're going to want to be kept up to date on that. So again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel as the government releases that information, and it is written into the bill as so that they are going to be doing this. And I believe the Senate's going to pass that version. And so we're going to look forward to the government issuing out those payments and according to how the taxpayers want to receive them. Please stay with us. We're going to let you know exactly what you need to do with that as well. Thank you all for coming along with me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I will catch you next time.